Participles sort of have a function that is something like a noun and something like a verb, depending on context. Let's begin by talking about their form, then we'll come back to the function. Now the form, there's a gender, either masculine or feminine, and there is a number, either singular or plural, but that's it. There's no person, so there's no first, second, or third person. So when we parse the participle, we would say call participle masculine singular, and that's all we need. And so these are the forms that the call comes in, namely kotel, kotelim, kotela, kotelot. And we can see by the endings that these are sort of noun endings placed on the end of a verb. So that kind of clues us in to this sort of participle that has this multiplicity of functions. Now, if this is all that we had, kotel, nothing else, we would translate this as a gerund. We would just say killing. But we need more of a context to decide whether we're going to use that basic idea that's in this or how we'll do it. We'll get to that in a minute. So here's a few of the main forms, especially the families kal, piel, and hiphil. You'll notice then that for the basic form, considering the endings, they're all the same. They have the basic noun endings on each one. Now in the case of the nifal, we have the noon prefix just like we would expect, and so this signifies to it that this is a nifal participle. Now for all of the other main stems, there's a mem prefix. And just what we would expect, on the mem prefix of the piel, there's a shva. So that tips us off that mikatel is slaughtering. This is the piel. And just as we would expect, on the mem prefix of the participle of the hiphil, we have a patak, maktil, causing to kill. So just like in other cases, become very familiar and memorize the call form, and then just be familiar with the indicators, and you should be able to get the other ones without much difficulty. Now, as for the function of participles, I'm just going to go over it in a very general way. For more specifics, you'll need to consult a grammar. But here's the three main functions. One, they can be used as a verb. They can be used as a noun. And they can be used as an adjective. Now, each of these depend on how it's sitting in the sentence. And it's usually not all that tricky, but I'll go over these nonetheless. So as a verb, our basic translation will just be the gerund to begin with, ing, and usually we would translate this in the present tense. But we have to decide on the context because it's not a tense, so that's just a general rule of thumb. When it's in the noun form, we would just sort of nounify it depending on what the deal is. Often, but not always, it will have an article on the front. And so this is a giveaway when it has the article that we are to treat it as a noun. And as an adjective then, we will know this because it will complement a noun and it will agree with the noun just like any other adjective would, and so this will give us a clue how to deal with it as an adjective. Let's look at some examples. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 13 says, Ki shofet ani et beito ad olam. And this is the word of the Lord against Eli, for I am judging his house until forever. So notice our normal form, and it's from Sheen, Pei, Tate. This is a call, participle, masculine singular. And as we can see, it's just, there's a subject supplied. So in this case, it's just the basic idea of judging. For I am judging his house, Eli's house, forever. Now let's consider a couple of examples as nouns. Here in Ruth chapter 1, the heading, Vayehi bimei shafot hashofatim. And it was in the days of the judging of the judges. Now, first we have shafot. This is in the kal, infinitive construct. So this is just in the days of the judging. There's no really idea other than that. Then so here we have Sheen, Pei, Tate, judging. And as we can see, this is kal, participle, masculine, plural. And I think that the giveaway issue is the on the beginning. So we have the article. So then this is a noun, the judges. So in the days of the judging of the judges. However, the participle can still function as a noun even without the, while having the article happens to be a little bit more common. Here's an example from Judges chapter 2. V'chi hakim Hashem lachem shofatim. And when the Lord would raise up for them judges. This example also uses the same root, also in the plural. In this case, though, there's no article on the front. It's just shofatim. So this is kal, participle, masculine, plural, and the context shows us that we're still talking about judges, so the ones who are judging, literally, but we would just translate that judges. Finally, let's consider an example of a participle functioning as an adjective from Deuteronomy 22:22. Ki yimatzeh ish shochev im isha ba'ulat ba'al umetu gam shanehem ha'ish ha-shochev im ha'isha v'ha'isha. If a man was found, notice it's in the nifal, imperfect, we have the dagesh and the mem indicating that. So if a man, he was found lying with a woman who is married to a different master, then they shall die, even the two of them, the man lying with the woman and the woman. So notice we have the participle twice here. First we have from Sheen, Kaf, Beit, to lie, we have, or lay, we have the kal participle, masculine singular, and here it functions as a verb for, or if a man was found lying with a woman. So there it just has our normal present tense sort of a sound to it, and it just functions kind of like a verb. Now the second half, speaking about them dying, we have ha'ish, the man, the one lying with the woman. So here we have, from the same root, we have a kal participle, masculine singular. Now in this case, if this is all that we would have, we would take it as a noun, the one who lies with. But in this case, it complements the noun ha'ish, so we have ha'ish hashochev, the man, the one who is lying with the woman. So that is, the man who lays, is the sort of adjectival sense, and here it agrees with the noun, just like any adjective would, which shows us its adjectival function in this case. Again, take your time. I don't think that the participle will be something that you'll find that'll trip you up in context, so just pay attention as you think through the different functions and learn the call forms very well.